Welcome back, everybody. I'm your host, Storm. And okay, so this demo has been out for a little while, and I have played it already. And I was gonna do a regular video about this, just sitting in front of the camera talking about everything, how I, my impressions of the demo. But I couldn't exactly articulate what I wanted to say exactly, without visuals in front of me. So I thought a better way to do that would be to just play the demo and kind of air out my gripes here, you know, in this little, I guess, mini walkthrough. I guess you could say it is. It's a demo of the game after all. So we'll get into it now. I'm gonna go for easy mode just for the sake of brevity, so we're not sitting here all day because that boss fight lasts a long time. I will try classic mode, and I'm gonna get to my issues with that as we go. But for now, I'll do easy mode. Okay, so right now, that's kind of my first complaint right there. So in the original game, it opens up with this view of outer space. It's the camera's moving all around. You're in the depths of space. The stars are everywhere, and that really works thematically for the game for Final Fantasy VII. Space as a whole is, I don't know how it maybe like 20% of the plot, 15 at the least, maybe. Outer space is not, it's not super integral to the plot of the game, but it does have a place in the game's plot. Genova came from space. They go to space for a second in the game. Spoiler alert, sorry. Uh, and when they get to Bagennigan's planetarium, it's this huge, huge thing. They're all in this kind of virtual space where they see this big model of the solar system and everything. So it was a really good way to, get out of space, involved thematically with the game. That opening, and then it shifts and the color changes, and then you see Aerith's face, and you realize it goes from being this view of outer space to being a view of Aerith watching bits of the live stream gushing out of the street in the middle of the city. So it was a really good way to kind of meld those two elements together. And here in the remake, they do not do that. As you've just seen, it's more of this kind of psychedelic view. It's not pure outer space. It's very clearly the live stream that you're looking at as this kind of overhead look as the game begins here. And yeah, that's something I just don't like. I liked how it was originally. Like I just said, this really good thematic crossing of space and the live stream. So yeah, still looks beautiful, but I mean, I'm disappointed with how they did this. Those green eyes, definitely an ancient. Okay, this here too, I kind of have an issue with. I mentioned this before in another video that Square seems to be trying to paint Aerith as kind of a vulnerable young woman in the middle of the city when she was far from that in the original game. She was always very strong-willed. She knew how to take care of herself in the middle of the slums. So these weird little moments where she seems afraid about what's going on around her, it's just not right. I don't like it. So I don't know why they're doing this. Because again, in the original game, Aerith merely got up from her spot here looking at the live stream, then walked out into the middle of the city, into the street. I I won't say that scene in particular made her seem strong-willed, so to speak, but it didn't make her seem weak or vulnerable either, compared to this scene right here. But anyway, she hears something or senses something, and now she's running. But why? Why change that? Why put that in there? Also, why does the guy need to bump into her and knock her flowers to the ground? And why does this guy have to step on it? Do you see what I mean? Like it really is trying to paint her as this vulnerable woman in the middle of the city when she was far from that in the original game. I don't understand why they need to do this. Yeah, the flower's damaged, but it's not the end of the world the way she's kind of looking at it. Oh, hey, Loveless. I forgot that was there. That's Genesis's favorite play. This is great, though. This is absolutely perfect right here. I love this. Even the helicopter's flying past. I love this right here. This is great. Absolutely perfect. Like, this part here is absolutely perfect. I love this. Very reminiscent of that technical demo for PlayStation 3 that came out years ago. That apparently the guy who directed that technical demo for the PS3 years ago, he's like, to this day he still defends doing that demo. That tech demo was simply being used to show off the power of the PS3 early on, and the best way to do that was with the opening of the bombing mission. And a lot of people were so sad about that because that meant, like, people thought they were gonna get a remake, but it turns out it was just Square messing with everyone with that opening. And Square still defends that tech demo too. To this, I don't know, like, this very second, but at least before the remake was announced, they still defended that tech demo.
Get down here, Merc.
Chapter 1, Destruction of Marker Reactor. Chapter 1, that's just weird. I don't know if I like that.
Halt! Who goes there? You're up.
Okay, so again, I've said this plenty of times before. I don't like the fact that this is an action game. I much prefer it to be a turn-based game. Being an action game, in my opinion, actually makes the game kind of... It blends in too much with other games out right now. Like, everything's an action game now. Everything's kind of a shooter or an action game in some capacity, and now Final Fantasy VII is one of those games. And to me, it makes it less unique. It makes it stand out a little less, gameplay-wise. Whereas, back in 1997, Final Fantasy VII... it stood out because of its gameplay. That was part of the reason it stood out so much. Granted, there were plenty of other turn-based games out there too. Final Fantasy VII was not unique in that respect, but this game got everyone's attention and got them to look at turn-based RPGs. And now they're turning away from that with this remake, which I think is a mistake. And yes, I know people are gonna make the argument, well, not everyone likes turn-based games, so maybe an action game will actually get people's attention. But with that same respect, you could also still say that not everyone likes action games, and maybe a slower-paced turn-based game will actually get their attention more. It's something they can handle, as opposed to something like this. All right, well, you know what? That's that. So let's go.
You're coming with us. Nice and easy.
Don't think so.
Nitpick here. So the messages appearing on screen right now, the way they just kind of rush by. I don't like that because it makes it difficult to figure out what's going on. I get a bunch of messages. Hey, you got this item. You got this many experience points. You got this much money. You leveled up, or something. So I'm trying to read all the information. And it goes by so quickly. So I don't know if Final Game's gonna be able to change that because I just really don't. I really don't like that. Also, nitpick here, I don't like the fact that outside of combat, I can only slash once with Cloud's sword. I don't... And I can't jump either. That's another sucky thing. Nitpick, again, but that... I wish I could jump freely.
Who the hell? can see him.
Have fun.
Okay, you too. You know, you can help, but you know, it would be 5 against 2. But all right.
Freeze! Move and we shoot.
So yeah, the ATB gauge is
Go ahead.
back.
Nothing to it.
ATB gauge is back, but it's not the same. Oh, that's fun. Auto jump. That's
the weapon.
fine, I guess, but I would rather be able to jump
You
freely.
got this.
Yeah, what he said. You're coming with us.
Ah, that's funny. Guarding. I'm not doing that. Who else is? Wait a minute.
No, it
There we go. Isn't that fun?
was never in doubt.
Gotta say, I don't care much for Cloud's banter. It sounds kind of unnatural for Cloud, in my opinion. I would say this: good for Square for changing the commands for opening chests from Final Fantasy 15. Just insane how the jump button is X, but also to examine like a sign or to open a chest or something, or to get an item, you also have to hit the X button as well. Like that makes Noctis just jump all over the place all the time, and it was just infuriating. Like how could you do that? How could you not make it so to get an item or something, or to examine something, to make it the triangle button? How hard would that have been? Smash boxes to get more items. This is gonna be another nitpick here, but I don't understand the need for that. I don't understand the need to have regular item boxes that you open up, and then also have other boxes to smash. A lot of other games do that, and me personally, I never understood why you would need to do that. That was always weird to me. Why not just have one type of well, why not just have the regular item chests? Again, that's a nitpick, so don't you know, I'm not saying that as like to detract from the quality of the game. I'm saying that as just like, that's a weird gripe for me. So, also I'll say this is cool, but I do miss the portraits from the original game. Again, personal gripe, not to speak of the quality of the game itself. That's just a personal gripe of mine. You can only use fire. That's another weird thing too. Like, I don't understand. I don't know if the final game's gonna change this, but if anyone who's played Final Fantasy VII remembers, Cloud had thunder and blizzard materia in the original game, or I guess bolt and ice, as they were called back then. Oh, I have a grenade. I didn't realize that. No, we'll see how that works. Manual. No, I don't need that. System. Let's try so my issue with the classic mode here, very clearly I either misinterpreted or misremembered what Square said when they first talked about the classic mode. From the way they worded it, it sounded like it was just going, it really was going to be a gameplay style similar to the original game. Not exactly like the original game, but similar. Characters would auto-attack on their own, but they would deal like chip damage, so you could still freely enter in commands like as if it was the original game. But trying it out here, it's not exactly the same. Dialogue only. I don't need the speaker's name. Let's keep going.
So what's Soldier Boy's deal? Is he one of us now? He's got balls, this, what was his name again?
Cloud Strife.
Right.
And he
Okay, another nitpick. I didn't like how Biggs was the one who said Cloud's name was, because it was a lot more dramatic in the original game when it was Cloud himself introducing himself. You know, it was the moment in the game you can name your character, whatever you wanted to name him, Cloud or whatever you wanted to name him. So when he said his own name, that was a bit more of a kind of a character defining moment. And then when Biggs tried to introduce himself, Cloud just shrugged him off and said he didn't really care what his or anyone else's names were. You know, just get like his kind of his cold shoulder attitude really shined through in that one instance, just like his introduction in the game. And here he's just not paying attention and they're talking amongst themselves, and I think that kind of takes away from Cloud a bit as a character. I mean,
He isn't a soldier anymore. Still, he's a professional, unlike the rest of us. I'm glad to have him.
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Really enjoy to work with them.
I'll say this too. After hearing them for a little while, I
Looks are what
don't
matters first.
I don't mind the new voice actors, but I don't think they do the characters that much justice as like the new guy voicing Cloud as opposed to Steve Burton,
Same.
or the new guy voicing Barrett as opposed to Bo Billingsley. The new people are fine, but I really feel that the original voice actors were better.
You'll keep us safe, right, Cloud?
Why would he?
Oh, they've almost got the door.
Yeah, that is shocking.
Come on, nobody do something this crazy just for money. They may not think you're a true believer, but you know what I think?
Not interested.
What?
Yeah, okay, so kind of like what I was saying before, like how okay, so I would say there's one bit of criticism for Steve Burton though. I know what I just said. I like Steve Burton a lot more. But I think one bit of criticism I could say about him is that there were times when Cloud's voice acting was a bit unemotional. And it's kind of odd. I never viewed Cloud as an unemotional character. I've always viewed him as kind of a safeguarded character. Like he didn't want to let his emotions out that much, but that he wasn't unemotional. And Steve Burton and Steve Cloud's current voice actor, they both do that a lot. The moments in when Cloud is unemotional, like just in that one moment. I know I fucked up and paused it, but when he said not interested, that came off, the tone of his voice was unemotional. As opposed to in Advent Children, when Cloud said that exact same phrase, not interested, it came off more as callous and irritated. When he felt he's being manipulated by Reno, Rude, and Rufus Shinra. He said, not interested, turned around, pushed past Reno, and left the area. Whereas right here, again, it's an unemotional delivery, and I don't understand why that seems to be the case all the time for Cloud. Like, they want to make him unemotional all the times. But anyway, to answer Wedge's question, though, Cloud isn't just doing this for the money. He's doing it for the money and as a favor to Tifa. So, but anyway.
Wedge.
You better be worth the money, Merc. Every last gil.
Is it just me, or does anyone else like dislike it whenever someone gives someone like an annoying nickname like that? Bear keeps calling him Merc over and over again. It's just kind of an annoying thing they do for characters sometimes in like any work of fiction. When the difficulty is set to classic, the player control character will engage enemies in battle automatically, attacking, defending, and evading as appropriate. See, I don't like that. With this mode active, you can simply wait until your ATB gauge is filled and press X to execute commands and dictate the flow of combat. Note that you can always control the player-controlled character. Battle difficulty is the same as easy.
Get him, boy!
Okay, so I'm not doing anything at all. Classic mode, attacking on his own. The ATB gauges. Okay, I'm not attacking at all. I'm not doing anything at all. I don't know how I can show that here. But that's my issue. It's auto attacking. Like, at the very least, what it should do is just make Cloud sit and do nothing until you actually give him a command. It wouldn't be the exact same kind of turn-based gameplay as the original game, but it would be close enough. I don't know if the final game is going to change that or anything, but the way it's done here is... Yeah, obviously it's not as thrill. Uh-oh, more people are coming.
Come on, is that it?
Okay, ATB gauge is up now. I can fire against the guard dog. And then, yeah, I set the with the ATB gauge to fill again. And Cloud's still attacking on his own. It's even to use items. See, obviously, it's not as thrilling as fighting on your own. But the point of the classic mode is to give you a kind of feel like it is the original game. But that doesn't do that. Again, if the classic mode just made Cloud sit there and do nothing until you actually gave him command while the ATB gauge was filling up, that I could be fine with. It wouldn't be exactly the same as the original game, but it'd be close enough. It'd be something more akin to Final Fantasy XII, I think. And that could have been great too. Anything else here?
This way.
The Mako Shard.
Huh. Not so fast. We've got company.
I also don't understand the padding here with all these extra battles. Wait a minute. Zoom. Can I? Oh, this is interesting. I never saw this before. Hitting the touchpad brings up this menu. I never knew this. I just hit the touchpad trying to bring up the icon key. Poison, silence, sleep, slow, stop, toad, instant death. Oh boy. Berserk, fury, sedate. What is sedate? That's new. Regen, barrier, mana ward, reflect, shield, haste, resist. How's haste gonna look in this game, I wonder? How's anything gonna look? I mentioned in another video that's gonna actually be kind of weird to see how they're gonna handle things like the emerald weapon battle underwater. So right now I can't change the gameplay back. So I'll do what I can. Speaking of grenade.
Heads up. Nothing to it.
Another issue I just realized. We know I'll talk about that when I get to it. Interesting expansion at this place. Oh wait, damn! I fucking forgot to change back. All right, well. Let's keep going. Okay, now I can change it. Oh, you know what? I also miss hitting the triangle button to bring up the menu. I can't do that anymore. Back to easy, just for the sake of brevity, like I said. Oh, a second. Audio. Alright, well anyway. Anything else here? I think there's a treasure chest here. Well, I thought there was. No? Alright, well let's go. Oh, there was one here. This area. Oh, so that's what's over there. Huh. I always thought there was actually a closed off area, like this was indoors. That's cool.
I'll secure our escape route, okay? You go on and catch up with the others.
You do that.
Soldiers
Mako
may
Reactor
attack on
1
command,
materia.
but I hear they make good guard dogs too. Bet you've seen a few reactors. So how do we get to the bridge above Mako storage? Ain't holding out on me, are you? Stamp scared to bite the hand that fed him? Or is he a loyal little doggy? Have it!
Okay. One more thing. So for anyone who's played Final Fantasy VII, this little headache that Cloud's getting, it probably makes sense. It makes sense to me. I know why he has this headache. My question is, why is it right here though? Because going back to the original game, Cloud didn't have one of his headaches here. He was fine here. I mean, like, if anyone who's played Final Fantasy VII, the foreshadowing is obvious, but I feel like they're making it a little too obvious. Like they're doing it too often. So like right here, for instance, this didn't happen in the original game. So it's done too often for my taste, and it makes it too obvious that something is happening, as opposed to the original game where you couldn't tell exactly what was going on, but you knew something was going on, and it happened so infrequently that you would forget about it. So when it happened again, it kind of jogged your memory, like, oh yeah, this happened earlier on too. What is this supposed to mean exactly? Whereas here it's done so often, you're expecting, okay, yeah, they're trying to do something here. So what is it?
So wait, Mutt. We can do this with you, or we can do this without you.
Different reactor, different layout. Depends when it was built. Never seen one like this, but I'll manage.
Yeah, Cloud seemed more put together in the original game, and here it just seems a bit unstable.
I'm watching you.
Don't you worry. Biggs will have the door open soon.
One materia. That's great.
In 3, 2... Damn, I'm good.
Who's there? Door! Oh, wait! It's over!
That's my line.
Personal gripe. Again, that really feels uncharacteristic for Cloud to say something like that. Let's Mosey made more sense for him to say than that's my line. Anyway. Yeah, so... Okay, so... This is something here they're doing to kind of make each character play very differently from each other, and, you know, to give it some sort of uniqueness amongst other action games, I guess, but... I mean, well, it's not that unique either. I mean, like Devil May Cry had something similar too when Dante switches between styles. Going from quick light attacks to slow heavy attacks, that's not really something new or revolutionary. So again, it goes back to what I was saying before, that being an action game it really just makes Final Fantasy VII Remake kind of just blend in with other games rather than making it set itself apart like it did way back when. But I'm saying those like times are different now. Everything's an action game. So the remake isn't that unique anymore.
He's alone! We can take him! Make it rain!
I'll do it, but you know...
That's that. It's over.
Hit it one time, he does all that.
Enough. Was never in doubt.
We're back.
Then let's move.
He always knows just what to say.
Cut it out.
Another small gripe. I kind of miss enemies disappearing in red light, like in the original game. Especially when you beat a boss, like the way the screen flashes and they slowly fade away in the red light was super cool to me. It makes more sense thematically for them to all to disappear into like the sinking into the live stream in the remake. It makes more sense thematically. I get that. You know, it's just a personal gripe, personal thing. I miss the red light, is all I'm saying.
I got this place covered.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Simmer down, hotshot.
It's a good thing I know someone who can get us the passcodes. Pity no one else at command will talk to us, but what can you do? Then we're good.
Careful in there. Well, what are you waiting for?
I'm waiting to open this up. A tuft of Phoenix down.
Security is only gonna get tighter, so be ready. We can't afford any more mistakes.
Looks like the elevator's on another floor. Mind pushing that button?
Sure.
So, you know Tifa, right? It's not really my business, but are you guys close?
Tifa and I.
Another weird moment. Why? I mean, for the most part, Cloud... Actually, no, not even for the most part. Like, 99% of it, or 95% of it, I'll say, Cloud was well put together in the original game. He wasn't having these little moments very often. Like, it's like moments like that were only put in for people who played the original game. So it's obvious to someone like me who's played the original game quite a few times, but to anyone who knew coming in, it's just going to come off as really weird and very obvious that something's happening. Well, actually, you know what? While on the subject. Okay, so speaking of Tifa, real quick. Does anyone else think it's odd that... Okay, so according to Square, I think Tetsuya Nomura himself said this. I'll have to double check that. But Square at one point said that... Okay, so a lot of fans... Well, maybe not a lot of fans, but some fans, myself included, were a bit worried that Square was going to... I talked about this too in a couple other videos. That Square was going to reduce Tifa's chest size for the remake. And Square at first said they weren't going to do that. And then once we finally did see Tifa... I think it was last year's E3. Finally saw Tifa in the remake. Her chest very clearly looked reduced. And later on, Square did admit that their ethics committee said that they wanted them to reduce her chest size in order to, curb any sort of backlash from certain people. Even though Square at first said they didn't reduce her chest size, or that they wouldn't do it before her reveal. And then at the reveal, very clearly smaller chest. I talked about this before, but the bigger chest is kind of important to Tifa's character, especially into contrast with Aerith. The love triangle between them and Cloud, it's not completely central to the game's plot, but it's very important to all three of them as characters. Not the main plot against, fighting against Shinra and Sephiroth, but to the three of them as characters. That love triangle is kind of important there, especially what happens later on in the game involving Aerith. Now, I bring that up because while Square seems to think that it's a good idea to reduce Tifa's chest size to, beat back any sort of controversy or backlash, they seem to think it's fine for Jessie here to wear a chest plate that outlines her breasts. I mean, granted, Jessie's chest isn't as large as Tifa's. That's not the point. You look at her right now. Why have a chest plate that does that to her breasts, but then Tifa can't herself have a larger chest? And granted, yeah, and look, I understand. Like, I'm not saying Tifa has to be spilling out of her chest or she has to be bouncing around in the battlefield as she's fighting. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, by Square's logic, let's make Tifa's chest size smaller because we don't want to upset anybody. But at the same time, Jesse, you're fine in what you're wearing. That's totally okay with us. But Tifa, smaller chest. Jesse, you're okay. I mean, it's not just me, right? That's not just weird to me, right? I will say this, however. I didn't see the trailer because at this point I'm keeping myself kind of blind to what else is going to be in the game now, which is what I usually do with any game that I really want to play. After that last video I kept myself completely blind to any more news or footage from the game coming out other than knowing about this demo here. There's a screenshot from the latest trailer that shows that Square either re-enlarged Tifa's chest or maybe the angles of her original reveal didn't do her any justice. Because according to that screenshot, they have her chest is bigger, like how it originally was in the original. Well, you see the FMVs, her chest in the remake is actually a little smaller, but you know, it's. I guess I could be fine with what it is now in the remake. Could still stand to be a little bigger though, but. Anyway, I'm just saying it's weird that Square had the mentality about Tifa and to even change her outfit compared to everyone else. But Jessie here is fine in what she's wearing. And like, that's not going to cause anyone to raise their eyebrows. So anyway, back on with the game. Oh, he's got 4 monitors, or 2. No, yes, it's 4 monitors. That's cool.
These sewer rats appear to call themselves Avalanche, sir.
Okay, I'm just saying, real quick, wasn't Shinra already aware of Avalanche before? In the original game, I mean. This shouldn't be new to them. They know of Avalanche. They know of their operations, but like Shinra, the company, was uncaring about them because they really weren't much of a threat to them. I mean, very clearly, President Shinra himself doesn't seem to think of them as a threat now. But before, I'm saying, they knew about Avalanche, but paid them no mind because what could they possibly do to us? So, like, why is this news now to them?
We are currently investigating whether they belong to the same group that made the attempt on your life.
Probably.
Rest assured, our inquiries will not take much longer.
This pump's sole purpose is to drain the planet dry. While you sleep, while you eat, while you shit, it's here sucking up Mako. It doesn't rest, and it doesn't care. You do realize what Mako is, don't you? Mako is the lifeblood of our world. The planet bleeds green like you and me bleed red. The hell you think's gonna happen when it's all gone, huh? Answer me!
Personal thing, again, was there a reason he had to actually rant like that? Like, he pretty much said the same thing twice, that Mako is important, is going to kill the planet. He basically said that twice here in his rant. Anyway.
You gonna stand there and pretend you can't hear the planet crying out in pain? I know you can!
You really hear that?
Damn straight I do!
Get help.
And that's another unemotional delivery there. Again, I don't see Cloud as an unemotional character. I just... The acting choices are weird to me for him.
Say that again!
I'd worry less about the planet and more about the next 5 seconds. Save the screaming for later.
Mako Reactor 1, utility access.
Our lives are on the line now.
Weren't they always, though?
You listening, Merc? One false move, and that happens.
Well, so much for having Cloud do all the fighting. There are some places a sword just can't reach.
Have you seen Star Wars though? You can throw those things. You know that, right?
Just bear with him for me, would you?
Lightsaber. I mean.
Yeah.
Should have asked for more money.
More unemotional delivery. In my opinion, that line should have been delivered with a little bit more exasperation. Or annoyance, at least. Barrett Wallace has joined the party. So, for Barrett, all you do is hold down square and he'll continuously fire.
Gonna throw your sword at him? Let the man with the gun go to work. These 10 cans
whoops.
ain't got nothing
Do
on
that.
me.
Can't move the camera like this.
No thanks. Now for the real show.
There you go. So while it's playing right now, I'll say this: I don't actually care much for the music. The way it's a lot more dramatic, a lot more orchestral. I don't really care for it much. Also, while we're doing this right here, as a matter of fact,
Counting on you. Do your job, Merc.
Shut up and move over. Don't forget to aim.
Oh yeah? How about I aim for your head?
Let's go.
and then it forces you back to Cloud, which I think, which is weird to me. Like, maybe you don't want to actually control Cloud all that often. Maybe you actually do want to control Barrett the entire time. Why, at the end of combat, it forces you back to Cloud? And I'll say that this is another thing I don't like, the fact that it's an action game, is that in the original game, in the original turn-based game, it felt more like it was a cohesive unit working together,
Look
you
what
know.
we have here.
The laser security system. Great.
Those things will hurt more than your pride if you're careless. They'll cut you down to size and then some. But I'm guessing you've done this kind of thing before.
Yeah. Figure out the timing of the lasers. Then, make a move when they cycle off.
Exactly. I'll go first. Nothing like a little danger to get the blood pumping.
Hey!
Just keep those baby blue
Hey,
spheres
what?
on me.
A lot of people like Jessie in this remake. She's fine. You guys know what happens later on in the game, though, right? Anyway, but I was saying before, like, it felt more like it was, you know, actually an actual group of people working together to fight an enemy rather than how it is now. Everyone's individual. You control everyone individually. It feels less like I'm fighting with Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett, and it feels more like I'm fighting using Cloud, and Tifa and Barrett happen to be there. If that makes any sense. Hold on, let me... Damn. Come on now. Ah. I am paying attention. Anyway, now that's done. Yeah, so it's not as much fun for me to fight with one person at a time as opposed to when I had everyone under my command. It's not as much fun to me.
They don't call those things sweepers for nothing. They can wipe out a whole squad in seconds.
Not if you wipe the floor with them first.
They are indeed called sweepers. I checked the original game.
We can take this hunk of junk.
That hunk of junk is a heavy weapons platform. If we rush in, we die.
Is that right?
Need to hit it with magic. That should give us an opening.
Hitting at, yeah, so whatever. It's basically Final Fantasy 13, in case you're wondering.
Now's
There
our
you go.
chance. Go.
Final Fantasy
Don't
13.
tell me twice. I'm gonna enjoy this.
See ya.
What are you, 20-something?
First.
Huh?
Soldier first class. Doesn't go into the 20s.
The hell you talking about? I mean your age, not your goddamn rank. Though for all I know, a soldier's rank could be the same as his age. Mm-hmm. Guess that makes you a 1-year-old, huh? Live and learn.
And now he's joking. It's a weird back and forth with him not trusting Cloud and insulting him and then joking around with him. I don't know about that. I will say that that was actually a good way to show Cloud's kind of awkwardness. Are you in your 20s? Like, what kind of response is that to, like, no, my rank is, I'm a soldier first class. Soldiers don't go into, the ranks don't go into their 20s. Like, what kind of response is that? There it is.
That's our target, the reactor core. Gotta set the bomb at the bottom. Let's get down there.
Let's go.
God damn. I can practically taste the Mako in here. Hurry it up.
Barrett seems like way too energetic. Energetic here.
Oh, it's bound to
At least in my opinion.
Scared, huh?
More like excited. I've been dreaming about this for years.
In my humble opinion, I feel like he should be a little more
Capable hands.
solemn. Is there anything over here?
Not that way. Down the ladder, dummy. Not that way. Down the ladder, dummy.
I'm not a dummy. I'll be honest, I never thought of these guys as robots. Like these things right here. I have to go back to Barrett.
How'd you like that?
And then back to Cloud. The game forces you. Like I said, it felt more like a team working together in the original game, and it's just I'm controlling Cloud, and Barrett happens to be here.
To the planet's core.
All done.
Cocky little bastard, ain't you?
I know I said I didn't like the fact that, like, not didn't like it, but just weird the fact that you have two different types of item boxes to get. But you see me smashing them anyway.
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this.
Yeah, because this boss is going to take a while. Okay, so this exchange here was just weird to me.
All right, let's see if little Stamp really can bite the hand that feeds. Go on, do the honors. Prove to me you're the man Tifa says you are. That you're one of us.
Never said I was. I'm just here for the paycheck.
Then do the damn job.
In the original game, Barrett tells Cloud to set the bomb, and then Cloud asks him why he has to do it. To which Barrett says, I can't trust you. I have to watch you, just make sure you don't pull anything. In which Cloud just shrugs his shoulders and goes, all right, fine, I'll do it then, if that's how you feel. I mean, it was clear from the start in the original game, and in this one right here, that Cloud is not one of them. Barrett even keeps calling him Merc over and over again. Cloud's not with Avalanche. He's just doing a job that Tifa put him up for. So it's weird that Barrett is like, hey, you're one of us, Cloud, aren't you? So, you know, set the bomb for us. Which Cloud is say, I'm not one of you. I'm trying to get paid here. And Barrett seems annoyed by that. Like, why, dude? You knew he was just a mercenary from the start. Why are you upset now? Anyway. Oh, he actually likes him. Look at that. Be careful. This isn't an ordinary reactor. You get it?
What about the timer?
Your call, Merc.
Let's go 30 minutes. I mean, we can get out of here far quicker than just the 20 minutes, but let's just easy mode. All right, 20 minutes.
Pretty cocky, ain't you?
Yeah, you should be, actually.
You double-crossing!
That's he's grabbing his own sword here. Why are you blaming him for something happening?
What the hell?
The Guard Scorpion, or
We fight this thing.
Scorpion Sentinel,
Armor plating,
as it
but
calls
the
itself.
internals can be overloaded. Lightning magic.
Oh, right.
Other option, huh? Time to fry. Hell yeah! You see the damage that did?
Keep it up.
I can't do damage to it now. This is a really dramatic opening boss fight, honestly.
What the hell is that?
A barrier? Never seen this defense system before.
It's slow as hell, Barrett. Come on.
So what's your brilliant plan, genius?
It's my time to shine.
Or go down in flames.
Did I hit it? Almost.
If we don't change it up soon, this thing's gonna kill us both.
Less talking, more shooting.
How about less lip from you?
What do you mean immune?
It didn't work.
Uh-oh. Come on now.
Damn pain in the ass.
Yeah, it is.
Damn it. This thing is tough.
It wouldn't be much of a weapon if it went down easy.
Don't compliment the giant scorpion. Hell
There
yeah,
we go.
baby.
Now's our chance. Give it everything you've got.
You're up.
Hang back.
Yeah, this is a really dramatic opening boss fight. Like, how are you gonna go from something this intense to... I mean, like, what is Safer Sephiroth gonna look like down the road?
Watch the tail. You don't want to be hit by that laser.
No, of course not.
So, what do we do?
Don't get hit. Take
Don't
it
attack
away.
either.
Breathe.
Attack while its tail is up. Which you actually weren't supposed to do. That's actually a mistranslation. You actually weren't supposed to attack while the
Strike
laser,
now
or
before it fires again.
the tail was up.
Here it comes.
Damn. Let me see.
Gotta memorize the attack patterns. Don't overdo it.
All right. Watch and learn.
Steady.
Bring it ahead.
Come on. Oh, I'm out of MP. Well, let me see.
My turn.
Sure could use a break.
Yeah, we all could.
Oh, hell. What's it doing now?
An auto repair unit. Damn it. We gotta take it out quick or we're screwed.
Oh, I am
Come on now.
you, Merc.
Not letting that happen.
Gotta time our attack just right. Hold out until you spot an opening.
There we go.
Rain hell on it.
Ain't gotta tell me twice.
There we go.
Here's another. Oh, you in for it now.
I ain't gonna use my limit break. That sucks. Well, so what now? I mean, this is really intense, and you know, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just thinking, like, if this is the first boss fight, what's gonna happen later on in the game? Like, what's Ruby Weapon gonna look like, or Emerald Weapon?
You hear that? Damn thing showed you how it's done.
Come on, we've got to move.
Yep.
Be covering our way out. Go, go, go!
At least the font for the numbers is the same. That much I can appreciate. That was going by himself for a second. 20 minutes is plenty of time. Don't worry, we got it. Oh wait, it's this way.
Give me a break.
Keep moving, keep moving. Unless... Great, I have to fight them.
Enough. It's over.
Alright, now we can go. That arrow was grayed out. I didn't like that. Oh, how nice for the timer to stop for us.
You okay?
Do I look okay? Help a girl out, would you? My hero.
They kind of made it seem like in the original game she got a foot stuck in the grates or something. That's a little more concerning here, getting stuck by debris.
Come this way. This route should lead us straight to Barrett. Probably. I think I see an exit. Come on.
I would if Cloud would move faster.
Don't look back. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
1 second, 1 second. I'm getting some potions that I really won't need.
We're running out of time.
Shut up and climb. You're not helping.
Sorry, it keeps me focused. I'll freak out if I don't talk.
Have it your way.
Good on Barrett for being able to climb up the ladder with only one arm. Yeah, like I said before, I don't like the music playing right now. It's like just more dramatic than it needs to be.
But then,
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I've got Soldier Boy with me.
X, Soldier Boy.
I am a soldier man, good sir.
I don't have time for this shit. The clock's ticking.
Cool it. 5 seconds is all we need. That's that.
The others away. Gotta get the hell out of here ASAP.
Kind of a weird thing too. You can hold down the square button and Cloud will attack continuously. I didn't actually notice that before until now. I was button mashing, to be honest. Okay, this one we can run from. We can keep going from here. Fleeing. Yes, I am. I can run from these guys too.
No shit.
Oh, hey. I know what I said before, but you still see me doing it, don't you? Where is this way?
Rook seeing his first action.
I think these guys... Okay, yeah, I have to fight these guys here.
Come on.
Asshole. Did I throw the grenade or not? Guess not.
Have this. Let's do this. Get ready.
There we go.
It's over. Deal with that.
Yeah, I'll do it.
The hell are you all the way back there for?
Bring it.
Come on now. Got plenty of time.
Get your ass out of here. Now that was something else.
That was nothing.
Yeah, it got to 4 seconds pretty quickly, didn't it?
Sir.
Okay, one more thing here. Again, this is just personal gripe. It's weird seeing a smartphone in the Final Fantasy VII universe. To me, Final Fantasy VII is something that's really rooted in the 90s when it first came out. In fact, believe it or not, there's actually an in-universe timeline where Final Fantasy VII actually does take place within 1997 in that universe. So to see a smartphone here is weird to me. Like, I think Final Fantasy VII is kind of better off using, you know, old flip phones or even a feature phone or something. Again, not to detract from the quality of the game itself, just something that stands out to me. It's weird that so the bomb destroyed the reactor, but now Shinra's destroying everything for some reason. I don't understand why here. Like, I guess this is gonna play in later on in the game. That maybe Shinra saw the loss of the entire factory as, you know, as something that was tolerable to them. If they could shift the blame to Avalanche, maybe. In the original game, Avalanche did destroy everything themselves, but now, as we just saw here, Heidegger issued an order to all the robots to destroy everything else themselves for some reason. We'll see how that turns out.
Doors open. We don't have a lot of time here. Pick up the
What are you
pace,
stopping
people.
for?
Can you walk?
If I couldn't, believe me, you'd be the first to know.
And that's it.
I'll take that as a yes.
Okay, that was pretty cool. All right, come on.
He's an anime protagonist. What would you expect? And that is that. Yeah, that's the end of it. And there's just a small preview of what's gonna come afterwards. Meeting Aerith, getting the flower. I hope it stays an option to get the flower. You don't have in the original game. You don't have to get the flower from her. So I hope that stays an option. It helps. It plays into the hidden data mechanics in the game. Oh, you know, he actually has two materials. Yeah, two materia in the sword in this little movie right here. So maybe in the final game he'll actually have Blizzard and Thunder like he did in the original. I noticed that before. Yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake, not Remake Part 1 or Episode 1 or Chapter 1 or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there it is again. Like these little moments that Cloud has. I think it's just unnecessary. So yeah, that's it. As you can probably tell, I was not blown away by this demo. No, I was not over enthused by this. And believe me, I took plenty of time to air out my grievances through this entire playthrough. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't blown away. I'm fairly unimpressed. Now, again, this is a demo. This is just a bombing mission, and you know, for as legendary as the bombing mission is from the original game, like this right here just did not grab me. I don't know if it's maybe like I played Final Fantasy VII so much over the years. I don't know if maybe I'm just too used to it that I was unimpressed with it. Well, I don't know. Actually, no, because I actually did go back through the original game after playing the demo for the first time, and it's a very different tone from the original game. So I really do feel like, yeah, something about this, it doesn't capture kind of the mystery and the tension in the air and the excitement that the original had for me. For this seemed like kind of, I don't know, kind of just like a poor way to kind of a poor execution of the bombing mission from the original game to me. I don't know. All that said, even though I wasn't overly excited about this demo here, I'm not going to write off the game as a whole just from this one demo. I'm going to play it. I will absolutely play the remake when it comes out. Final Fantasy VII is too important of a game for me to not play. So, in the end, whether or not I do end up actually enjoying my time with the remake, or maybe in the end I kind of feel like, yeah, this remake wasn't very good to me. I did not like it at all. Yeah, I'll find out for myself. I'm gonna play the entire thing because, like I said, it's too important for me to not play. It's too important for me to just ignore this altogether, whether good or bad. That said, I'm gonna wait until the entire remake is out altogether. I'm not gonna do this bit by bit thing that Square wants to do for some strange reason. This Chapter 1, Episode 1 thing. And again, it's weird that right there you see on the screen, Final Fantasy VII Remake demo, not Remake Part 1 or Episode 1. It's just Remake. Like there's been absolutely no marketing saying that this is only a chunk of the original game. And From Square said, the demo, I'm sorry, the original game, the remake, I'm sorry, is going to be from the bombing mission all the way up to the escape from Midgar. And I've also heard apparently that it is going to go a little further than that to Calm. Well, you know, what Cloud tells a story about his involvement with Sephiroth all those years ago. So the escape from Midgar is going to be the climax of the first part of the remake. And apparently we're going to get something of a breather moment at Calm before Cloud tells his full story. So I assume that, well, it's not even an assumption. Even if the remake ended right after the escape from Midgar and then credits roll, the beginning of the next part of this remake project is going to be Cloud's story. So we're gonna go to Calm. We're gonna hear his side of the side of the story, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Again, I'm gonna wait until the entire thing is out because I want to play from beginning, from the bombing mission, all the way up to Meteor Fall. You know, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to miss out on this when it first comes out, initially anyway, but I personally think my experience is going to be a lot better if I can go from beginning to end in one go, or however long it takes me to get there, you know? So that's it. That's all I wanted to say, really. Again, not too excited about the game from this demo, but I'll see how things turn out in the full release, and I will play the full release once everything is out in one package, or like how it's gonna be put together. I don't know. So that's it. So I guess until something else happens, I don't know. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later.